Good morning, everybody. Pastor Rick here, Broadman Baptist Church. What a beautiful day God has given us. I know it's cold and rainy, but you know what? We're alive. We're in creation. We're serving God. What a beautiful thing He has done for us today and every day. This is the Broadman Word for October 29th, 2021, and it is titled Lessons Learned from Tippy. Now, what's a Tippy? Well, Tippy is my little 10-pound toy poodle. And a couple of things happened this morning where I actually, in retrospect, learned a couple of things. I got up at my usual 5:20 in the morning with all intentions of going to the gym, as I usually do that time of day. But for some reason, hearing the rain outside and feeling it was kind of cool and generally being a little bit lazy, I just wasn't feeling the gym this morning. So I went in to get Tippy out of her kennel, and she didn't. This would be about a full hour or more earlier than she would normally be getting up. And she didn't know that. Of course, dogs don't have a good sense of time, but she didn't care. Uh, I got her out of her kennel, and she did her normal stretch. I said good morning, and she was wagging her tail and just happy to be up, happy to be alive for another day, and hopefully happy to see me. And so lesson number one I learned from Tippy was about just being glad for another day, just being glad to see people, being glad to be around another day, being glad that you're alive, just being glad unconditionally. You know, she didn't know that it's sort of a cold and rainy day, and I don't think she would have cared. It doesn't matter. All she knows was she was up and she was around somebody who cared for her and hopefully that she cares for. And that was the basis for her joy. She was wagging her tail and glad to be moving around in the day, and it's just struck me that we really should, as Christians, particularly as people in the kingdom with the responsibility for representing Jesus Christ to the world, for those who've been tasked with making God's plea to the lost and shining His light out into the darkness, we really should just be happy that we got up, that we have people around us that we care about and that care about us. We have God's love and His protection and provision over us. And what kind of a day it is outside really shouldn't matter. We talk about weather a lot, especially in Ohio. And I'm thinking that's fine. It's a subject of conversation. But should it really determine our mood? Should it really determine our speech and how we think about a particular day? Or should we have the Tippy example and just be wagging our tails and happy that we got up one more time and that we're going to have one more day in creation, one more opportunity to represent Jesus, one more opportunity to reconcile somebody to the cross, one more opportunity to show the love of Christ to somebody, one more opportunity to be an ambassador for God. These things should produce joy in us, regardless of what the day holds, regardless if it's a cold and rainy day like today. I was supposed to golf this morning. Obviously, that's not going to happen. Is that going to affect my mood? No, and it shouldn't. And the rain shouldn't affect my mood. So, lesson one from Tippy today, just be happy, be joyful, regardless of what the day might hold. God allowed you to see it, and He has a purpose for you to be here today in the kingdom. And we should take our joy from having the opportunity to fulfill that purpose. Lesson number 2. I took Tippy downstairs as usual to go outside. She likes to go out first thing in the morning when she wakes up. And so it was, as I've said so many times, right, pretty cold and pretty rainy. And she's not a real big fan of the rain. And generally will avoid it when she can. But this morning, when I opened the door and she saw that it was raining outside, and she gave me that look like, do we really need to do this? And so I put her little raincoat on her, and with some urging, she went outside to do what she needed to do. And so it took me a second, because I didn't want to be out there either, but I had a pretty decent raincoat on. It took me a second to realize that in her actions, there was a lot for us to learn there about going out and doing what we're supposed to do. She was a little hesitant, gave me that look, and wanted me to help her. I have no idea if she knows that she has a raincoat or not, but I know she likes it when I put it on her, and before we go outside in the wet. But she went out there to do what she needed to do anyway. Doesn't matter that it was cold and rainy. Doesn't matter that she didn't like the rain. She looked to me for some help. She got that help, and then she just went out to do what she's supposed to do. Now, for her, it's pretty simple. She just needs to go to the bathroom and bark just because that's what she does. But for us, the lesson would be, when we go out into the mission field, when we leave our front door, we might be hesitant. We might not want to go and do what the day has in store for us. We might not want to go out into whatever weather it is. But we need to draw on God in those moments. Now, I have no idea how a dog thinks about their owner. I hope that she doesn't consider me to be God, and I certainly don't consider myself to be God. But the illustration is, she looked to the one place that she knew she could get some help, and that was me. For us, we need to look to the one place that we can get some help with our day, and that would be God. And then we need to do exactly what Tippy did. After we get our help, for us, it's going to be through prayer and petition, to consecrate our actions, meaning to dedicate our day, our actions in that day, to the will of God. And so then, for us to just go out and do what we're supposed to do, just get to it. Be the ambassador that we're supposed to be. Regardless of what the weather is, regardless of what tasks may lay before us that day, no matter who we might encounter, whether we want to or not, it's irrelevant. There's work in the kingdom to be done. God will be there with us to help and provide us the tools. I provided little Tippy with a raincoat. God will provide you with whatever tools you need to make it through your day and to accomplish whatever tasks He has for you. But it needs to be on us. We need to be willing to just simply go do what we're supposed to go do in a joyful manner with the love of Christ, excited about another day in the kingdom. So, 2 things learned from Tippy today. Be glad about the day and understand what the day is. And then be willing to look for help to get through it. But then just go do what you got to go do. That is where our reward is. That is where our peace and our joy can be found. That is where our fulfillment is. Acting in the will of God as a child of God, showing the love of Christ as an ambassador of the kingdom, and exercising the ministry of reconciliation that Jesus left us with so many years ago. So listen, be a Tippy today. Go out there and do what you're supposed to do and be happy about it. Listen, I love you. I hope you have a marvelous day in the Lord, and I'll see you next time.